So let us look at what we call the cell. Okay, so we want to see what a cell is, what functions can a cell perform, and how we can classify organisms based on the number of cells that they really have. In our second session, we saw that we showed different levels of organization. We started with the chemical level, moved to the cell level or the cellular level, we moved to the organ level, we moved to the organ system level, and then we moved to the organism. So we are basically, our interest in this presentation is to look at the cell. Okay, what makes up the cell? So the cell is the basic unit of life, or you can say the cell is the fundamental unit of life. So all organisms actually are made up of cells. We have organisms that are made up of one cell, and then we have those that have more than one cell. Those that have only one cell, we call them unicellular organisms. And then those that have many cells, we call them multicellular organisms. So humans, animals like a goat, a cow, a sheep, and even plants, they are multicellular. Then we have organisms like the bacteria, amoeba, paramecium, all these consist of only one cell. Okay, so even when they only consist of one cell, for example, these ones here, the bacteria, and they consist of one cell, but they are able to carry out life processes like respiration, reproduction, and many others. And then here you see a human who is having many organs, and you already know that the organs come from having tissues, and then tissues come from cells. Okay, so the human is actually multicellular. Okay, so we say that organisms that are multicellular are called the complex organisms, or multicellular organisms, or we can say they are higher organisms. And then those that only have one cell, we call them unicellular organisms. We can call them single-celled organisms. We can call them simple organisms. We can call them lower organisms. Okay. So we move to the plant and animal cell. What we have here, these are simple diagrams to show the plant and animal cell. Okay. Why am I saying so? For you, there are many structures that you can really see in the plant and animal cell, but only that in this case we have a representation of what you can see if you're using a light microscope. Okay, if you're using a light microscope, these are the features you basically see. But if you use a compound microscope, you'll be able to see more different parts. Okay. So this one here is a plant cell, and then this side is an animal cell. Okay. So the animal cell has a cell membrane, and then there's the cytoplasm, this substance, gel-like substance inside. The cytoplasm, and in the center we have a nucleus, and sometimes we have the vacuole. Okay? And then when we come to the plant cell, we have the cell wall, which is not here. The cell wall, the cell membrane, cytoplasm, chloroplast, nucleus, the sac vacuole, the tonoplast. Okay, so those are the parts that you find in the plant cell. You can see that the shape, this one has a particular shape, this one is not really having a definitive shape. Okay, so let's check what is in, from this very diagram. You can see that all the parts that the plant, that the animal cell has, also the plant cell has. But there are parts that the plant cell has, but the animal cell does not have. So let's look at those that the animal cell has and the plant cell has. We have the cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, vacuole, 4 parts. And then when you come to this side, the cell wall, the animal cell does not have. And then this one, the cell membrane, the animal cell has. Cytoplasm, the animal cell has. Chloroplast, the animal cell does not have a chloroplast, yet the plant cell has. So this is another difference. The nucleus, we have it here, we have it here. Subvacuole, yes, we have the vacuole, but here is usually we have some vacuole, sometimes very small in animal cells. Yet here we have the large. Tonoplast, no, we don't have it this side. Okay. All right. So let's check again. See, we have all the parts of the animal cell also are available in the plant cell. So that is it basically. And then let's look at each of these parts. What do they really do? The cell membrane controls what enters and also what goes out of the cell. Okay, it plays some role in maintaining the cell strength and shape, but you will notice that actually it is the cell vacuole, the cell wall, that plays this role much. Okay, and that's why we have a definitive shape for plant cells, but we don't have a definitive shape for cell membranes. And then, of course, the cell membrane protects the inner components of the cell. So basically, the roles that are being played by the cell wall in plant cells, because the cell wall is actually very rigid, they play a very important role in support and structure and protecting the. So the cell wall is very rigid and therefore provides protection and support for the plants, for the plants, yes. And then the nucleus is like the center of control. The nucleus controls the activities of the cell. It also contains the genetic material, and when we say it is the center of control, it controls all the cell activities, including cell division. And then the cytoplasm is the gel-like substance that is filling up the cell. We have a lot of cellular processes happening within So if I may repeat, the nucleus is the center of control. This means that it controls all the activities of the cell, including cell division. It also contains the genetic material in the form of DNA. And then the cytoplasm, which is the gel-like substance that fills up the inside of the cell, it's the a site where we have a lot of cellular activities happening. Okay, and then we also have different organelles within the cytoplasm. It is also an area where you have energy producing material being stored. The starch and others actually stored in the cytoplasm. The chloroplasts in plant cells contain chlorophyll that is very important for trapping sunlight for the process of photosynthesis. The vacuole, which is very prominent in plant cells, we call it the sub-vacuole in plant cells. It contains water, waste products, and the nutrients. Okay, so it plays an important role in supporting plants through maintaining target pressure. So, if we may not really go through this again, but the things that the plant cell has that the plant cell does not have, that the animal cell does not have, include the chloroplast, the cell wall, the vacuole. We have them in both cases, but for the plants, they are actually large, and for the animal cell, they are actually small. And because the plant cell has the cell wall, it has a rectangular shape. I mean, a rectangular shape, yes, but an animal cell is often round or is irregular because of a flexible membrane. And then we talk about certain cells that are very specialized to carry out specific functions. What basically this means is that not all cells are the same. We have some cells that can carry out specific functions, and we call them specialized cells. For example, in animals, we have the red blood cells that carry oxygen, the sperm cells for reproduction, to fertilize the egg, and then the muscle cells to produce contractions for movement, the nerve cells to transmit impulses, and then for plant cells, we have the root hair for absorption of water and minerals, phagocytic cells that are formed in a leaf for photosynthesis. We have the gut cells that are around the stomata, play an important role in gaseous exchange. The xylem cells are for transporting water and minerals, and then the phloem for transporting sugars throughout the plant. Okay, so in this session we have looked at cells. We said the cell is the basic unit of life, and we have some organisms that only have one cell, others have many, and we have looked at the structure of the plant and animal cell under the microscope, and we have noted that the plant cell has certain parts that, or certain organelles that the animal cell does not have. We mentioned about the chloroplast, we have mentioned about the cell membrane. We have also talked about the chronoplast and the nature of the vacuole and how it is different from the vacuoles of animal cells. So thank you for